The Oshawa Curling Club, historic hosts of many curling championships through the years, but this week it's the hosts of the World Financial Group Canadian Junior Cup. Hello, Canada and viewers around the world, and welcome to Draw 3 of the Canadian Junior Cup, coming to you live from inside the Oshawa Curling Club. My name is Matthew Hall. Once again, I'll be bringing you all the action throughout the week. Sitting beside me in the booth this draw is the incomparable Mary Childers. Thanks for coming, Mary.
Thanks for having me, Matt.
And let's take a look at our matchup for this afternoon, our feature game. We have Team Madden out of Ottawa, Ontario, facing off against Team Einspieler St. Gallen out of Switzerland. And throwing the yellow stones, Team Madden lead Ava Akers, second Liana Flanagan, the vice Emma Akers, and the skip Jenny Madden. Matching up against them, throwing the red stones out of St. Gallen, Switzerland, the lead is Renee Frigo, second Jenna Holland, vice Alyssa Rudolph, and their skip is Isabel Einspieler. And something tells me we're going to have a pretty good matchup here, Mary. This squad out of Switzerland, actually the defending champions of this event.
Yeah, they've had a few rocks down here already, and what I'm seeing so far is very fast ice. Both teams have put the back behind the, almost 12 foot, and I don't know what happened with that rock there, Matt. It might have been burnt. They removed it from play.
I think it was. There was a bit of a discussion, but that's the only thing I could imagine it would have been.
Yeah.
One of the call it consistent misses we've seen so far through the first couple draws has been those heavy misses. The ice here is very fast, usually running around 16 seconds, which is between the hog lines, which is probably a lot faster than most of these teams are used to playing. I'm sure they will eventually figure it out, hopefully, but definitely that has been the most consistent kind of miss that we've seen.
Yeah, I actually curl here once a week on Monday mornings, and the ice is beautiful. It's very fast, but it's really nice to slide on, which sometimes can make it feel even faster.
It's not it, though, is it? Is it? That's 4 or 5.
The second for this Swiss Scot.
After that.
Second for this Swiss squad is Jenna Halen. Drawing around the corner guard pretty early without the hammer.
Yeah, interesting call. This one is a shot that has to be made, and it looks to me like it's going to be heavy, which is actually going to be an advantage for the Madden team.
Yeah, and we've seen those, especially on those draws to the wings, have been even just that little bit faster.
Yeah.
And eventually they figure it out, but I think it's going to really come down to which team is able to make that adjustment first and capitalize on a miss by their opponents. That's going to come out of this game on top.
Yeah, so this is a great advantage right here for the Madden team. They've got that corner guard up. We'll see if she can adjust to the weight. You can you got to throw it for the sweepers. Throw it light until you figure it out, because sometimes it's just, you feel like you're not throwing anything on it, but very fast ice.
I was out here practicing yesterday for a little bit while some of the other teams were having their 30-minute practices, and I think it took me about 4 or 5 rocks before I kept something in play. They were all going to the hack.
Yeah. This one here, it was a little heavy. They let it tick the guard and lands on the tee line there, but it's wide open.
Ava Akers, the lead for this Madden squad out of Ottawa. Team playing as 3, it appears, this week. Looks like they're missing Emma Akers. We weren't able to talk to them before the game to figure out what the issue is, but it is the holidays. We've seen a couple teams out here either playing as 3 or playing with a spare. Not unexpected around this time of year.
It's a very nice shot.
Key that they didn't roll overroll or roll fully buried there. If you roll fully buried, you might give them a chance to come around and freeze, but by staying just in the open, really makes things
und
difficult.
vorher
Madden
schneller,
kind of has
Juni.
to hit this, and then you
Ja,
have the
das
opportunity to
stimmt.
get your force later.
Länge. Okay.
11 und dann sorry, 10, 11,
Und schnell.
Ice is very sensitive too, and you
Guys,
can see a lot of
set.
these players will play that,
Ah.
throw it almost a little bit like Rachel Holman, where they put it back
Mhm.
to the broom, and lots of rotation, and that one didn't even have a chance.
Yeah, and I've noticed that as well in our first couple games where it's sensitive to the weight too. Like some of those hack waiters and board waiters, or if you're just a little heavier than you think, it almost runs not abnormally straight, but just that little bit straighter than you might expect it to. So, which is what you want to see. I mean, in a championship such as this, you want the winners to come down to who are the most skilled players out there. So I think it's going to come down to which teams are able to control their weight selection and how much they're throwing at every shot.
Yeah, and these players are very young, and that's something that you have to learn. And you'll see a lot of the elite players now are doing that. They're throwing the board weights and the hack weights so they can get the most out of every shot.
Mhm.
So we're going to have another go at this.
Also da ist 10, da ist 11 und da ist 9. Oder schneller.
And you can see that little bit of a backwards motion in the release there, but this one should be a lot closer.
Yeah. Might want to go for the roll on the other side now. Could have taken that one a bit further over there, but nice shot.
And at this point, you're looking at the house. I mean, assuming that the Swiss are able to remove this yellow stone, you're going to be looking at 4 reds. And one of my favorite sayings is, if you're going to get forced, you might as well be forced to 2. So
Yes.
I think at some point you'll probably see them. It is early. This is, of course, their first game of the week, so they might just continue to hit and be content just to take their one with the hammer. But I would not be surprised to see them sort of ignore something, go around the corner guard, try to set something up. This one, I think, staying more on the nose and sticking around closer to center, you probably have to hit it. Just until you know for sure what the ice is doing.
But to play this hit, yeah, I think they're calling like a board weight, which is a great call. It's really important to keep your shooter in play.
Yeah.
And if you can get that
Kannst du
sort of
jetzt
little bit of a roll towards the broom side, or sit right there and perhaps there'd be a jam possibility. Just keep your shooter in play.
Clean. Yes.
This is really nice weight she's thrown.
Yeah, I really like that weight selection. Something that you can control, brings your sweepers into it. Throwing that less weight, as long as you have a good idea of where the broom needs to come down, over curling really shouldn't be too much of a worry if you're close to what you want to throw. And it just gives you a lot more control over what the rock is doing. You roll out less, you force the other team into tougher shots more. It just ends up working out in the long run.
I think the key thing you just said there, Matt, was that you know where to put the broom on shots like that, because it's also, you have to be confident as a player throwing it with that kind of weight, that the broom is in the right spot.
Yeah. And sometimes, especially in the first end, I don't think it's as much an issue with this ice. This ice seems pretty much up to speed, broken in pretty well by the time they finish their practices. But sometimes you get out on a club where it's a little bit frosty, or you're not 100% sure. So yeah, sometimes you might up the weight. You might throw something like a firm or even a peel, depending on where you are, just so you don't have to think about it. But as long as you know what you're doing, your most important skill that you can have is rock placement and rock control. And we might already be seeing why this team are the defending champions of this event. None of these shots really seem all that flashy. I mean, it's just been a bunch of nose hits, but it's quite impressive for a team of this age or this caliber to see them.
Sehr super.
You know, usually you might see a mistake every now and then, just an open rollout or a jam, and that's not something that you see from this team a whole lot. Now, we've only seen one end here, but I know from watching them last year as well that they're just very solid, that you don't see those, you know, brain dead misses, for example, where you're just rolling out on an open hit or throwing a draw through the rings or something like that. And I think that makes a big difference at any level, but especially at the junior level.
Oh! No!
Just like that, Matt, what you just
Yeah.
mentioned.
And that, it comes down to a lot of things. It's their first game on the ice. Probably the broom might have not been in quite the wrong spot, or maybe she just didn't quite throw the weight that was needed for what they were looking for. But yeah, those are, those are big misses. I mean, this not only for the fact that you didn't remove the rock from play, now you're going to be throwing against 4, possibly 5, but just the fact that now Isabel, the skip for the Swiss team, has a chance to throw a free draw. And for me, one of the things I like to look for, especially at this level, are those how many free draws you're giving to opponents in this scenario. So yeah, maybe if you're playing an end that's going to a blank, for example, and there aren't any rocks in play, maybe you think rolling out isn't that big a deal. But giving the other team, especially the other team skip, these free chances to really lock in on that draw weight, 9 times out of 10, it's going to pay off for them later in the game. Final rock here for Isabel Einspieler out of St. Gallen, Switzerland. Trying to sit a handful. This rock's going to slip in. Looks like it's going to take a stop right around the top 4 foot.
Solian is this way. I'm not sure what inside out's doing.
And lots of space to work here, but I've never wanted to throw against 5 in the first end of a competition.
No, you don't. And then, the other thing is
I'm going to throw the same weight.
deciding what you want to throw here on your last shot. You could play the turn that your opponent just played, play a little tap on that. You could play just a hit and stick. Sometimes when you put two shots in an opponent's mind, it can pay off. So this is a huge pressure shot here in the first end.
Yours really dope.
She's got quite a bit of ice there, Matt, so I'm thinking kind of a board weight again at this shot.
That looks about right. We have seen that this side of the sheet has curled a touch more, it seems. But I agree with that much. We're probably looking for board. And the nice thing is that Jenna's second, Leanna, threw this exact same shot earlier.
Right.
So should have a good idea. Final rock here in the first end.
This one's starting to curl. Very nice shot. I think she sticks around.
Looks like, yeah, it'll stop fully on the side. So bit of a pressure situation, but Jenny Madden comes through in the clutch, makes the hit, takes her one.
Peace of mind, the life you want, and financial independence. At World Financial Group, we believe your path to any of these goals is paved by financial knowledge. That's why our agents spend every day empowering individuals and families of all backgrounds with the knowledge to create the life they want. No matter your financial goals, WFG can help you own your future. Visit worldfinancialgroup.com to learn more.
And picking up play once again here at the start of the second end. As we see Ava Akers throwing the lead stones for Jenny Madden. And, well, safe to say bullet dodged a bit in that last end there, eh, Mary?
I'm going to say so, yeah. That was a really last pressure shot for Jenny Madden, but she makes no mistake. She gets her 1 point. I think a little bit of a sigh of relief there, and they can all buckle down here now, hopefully get draw weight and score some points.
Really nice.
Interesting call here, Matt. They're just The Swiss team here has hammer, and she has called this to go in the house over to the wing.
You see this every now and then, not so much at the men's and women's level all that much, but there's nothing wrong with it. It's a pretty defensive call, but it forces sort of it'll force Jenny Madden to make a decision. I mean, she could just ignore it completely and sink around the center, but then she's risking leaving a rock over there. So I wouldn't be surprised to see her hit this stone. Possible that they just want to play things out a little bit, get a bit more used to the ice. I think one of the things that I saw from the Swiss squad in that first end was, they really didn't do anything flashy, and they were all over the other team. So sometimes when that happens, you just say, okay, well, let's, keep the status quo. If you keep doing that 2 or 3 more times, maybe you just need one miss out of the other squad to get something big. This one has some curling to do, though. We'll make contact and remove it,
I
but
need to get
roll
blessed
out.
on those.
Yeah, so they might be a bit content with the blank here this early in the game. Calling to come in once again.
Nin's coming.
And Mary, I'd be remiss if I didn't take the time here to congratulate you on your recent Masters Provincial Championship win. Where was that again?
That was in Belleville, Ontario.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, so we get to go to the Canadian Championship not till April, and that is in Chicoutimi, Quebec.
Oh, that'll be exciting, man. And
Yes.
you're throwing the 4th stones
I
for
am.
Alison Gore.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, we had a good week and lots of fun as usual, so we're pretty excited.
You having fun? I've never heard of it.
Listen, I was a tame one on the team, believe me.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations
I'm a
again. I'm
easy
sure that'll be
people.
an incredible experience in April. Is it your first Masters?
It is, yes, yes. Because I'm a baby master, Matt, so.
Hardly on a heart. All the way, all the way.
So both teams here kind of staying on the defense, I would say.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not surprised from the Madden side of things. They got caught in a pretty precarious situation in that first end. Sometimes you just want to, take an end, throw it away after that, make some easy shots, and just keep things that little bit simpler when you get caught like that. Really important for the Swiss, though, that they stick around on all these shots. This one will catch it enough to take it out, but now this is a free chance for Jenny Madden to play around this center guard. And that's one of the important things when you go to the wing like that, especially early in an end. At this level, I don't think there's necessarily anything wrong with that strategy, especially if you want to keep the blank alive, but you can't have a miss like that. You have to make sure that you're always going to stick around on all your shots, or else you end up just giving the other team this free chance.
Where? Yep, hard. Yes, hard. Really hard.
Coming up short, so looks like the Swiss are now going to go ignore those and
So
go
Snins.
around.
Be surprised well, it is getting fairly late in the end, so
See if it's
don't necessarily think this is the wrong thing to do. Bit surprised with how they played the first half of the
Me
game.
too.
I thought they were playing for the blank. It's pretty easy to just walk up there and make the double peel, but they want to put the pressure on now, and this one looks like it needs to start grinding in.
Yeah, I think the previous shot, they could have just ignored the one in the wing and started coming around that center line guard because they have kind of switched strategies here. And that was an unfortunate miss, so it does give the Madden team here another chance.
Ja, Nins kanske
Get a nice one in their top 4
Nins
foot around
första
those
mål.
yellow guards.
Get a good look here at what kind of times we're running hog to hog.
Little tight.
Leanna Flanagan, normally second for this team, appears to have taken on
Never.
vicing duties.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
14-5, so this one needs to sit down as well.
Okay. Thank you.
It'll slip just to the back, full 12. And this is, we saw a lot of this earlier, Mary, where, you know, the compounding misses is sometimes a big issue. You can miss one shot and get away with it. If you miss two shots, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be sunk. So
Right.
really important that the Swiss make this one. Both teams have now had the opportunity to get a feel for the weight and see if they can make the adjustment here.
Go, 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 go! Wenn's geht, Girl! 17 drüben! Komm, wir machen den ganzen 12! Besser als der andere! Komm, noch nicht! Schlecht.
Doesn't look
Thanks,
like they'll
Sophie,
quite
ganz
get it
clean.
far enough to sit shot. So it is still
17
yellow 1 at the
drüben,
back of the
Annika.
12 foot.
We're still in one.
Ganz gut!
Red shot at the top 12.
We go like this way.
Usable, maybe splittable, but Team Madden
Shit's
can
off.
make one good draw here and get into the 4 foot around. That red rock is almost acting like another guard.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. It's kind of, you know, it was too light. It's acting as a third guard out there right now. So this is a really big shot here. They got to get something in here. Front of the tee
It's
line.
good. Top 4. Yeah, gotta go line. Yes, hard. 2. Okay.
This is really light.
Wenn wir so oder so!
Oh my God, those are 4-6.
Geh wieder raus!
Another
Probably an
option.
over-
Oh, sorry, Matt.
No,
Another
no
option
worries.
here is just to peel those 2 guards out front there.
Absolutely make sure that you can, you know,
Yeah.
you're always going to have your shot to score. Probably a
We
bit
did
of an
go-
over adjustment
yeah.
there by Leona Flanagan on that draw. Have seen though most of the play has been on this left side of the sheet coming home too. So maybe the throw wasn't quite as bad as it made it look. Might have been caught in a bit of a fresher spot that brought the weight down, especially on that curlier side. This one's looking very good though.
Easy! Go, 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 go! 16 drüben!
You know, when you're playing a team of this strength, the strength of the Swiss squad, you can't give them too many chances. To make it. Eventually, they're going to make a great one like that.
Check your
Ich weiß nicht, ob sie den sofort gespielt
Might be a little tough with
I
this.
think both of those reds are pretty much buried. You're not going to get much out of going after those. I think maybe coming around. You got to remember you're sitting second shot at the back, so you're not in huge trouble here yet.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. Play that in-turn draw, the one you just
Yes.
tried. You just need to be half 4 foot anywhere. It doesn't look like the Swiss can see much of that red stone they just threw. So probably not too many run back options or anything like that. Looks like they're going to try and play the freeze here.
Freeze on theirs. Corner freeze.
If you make it, it's pretty good, but
Yeah.
not the easiest shot I've ever seen.
Wir haben jetzt schon lange nicht mehr gespielt.
The problem is there's so much of the 4 foot still left open. Even if you make this freeze, Swiss could just come around the other way and still sit 2 points. So, I don't know. I think I'd be tempted to play something around everything and try to get into that 4 foot.
I agree. And you don't even need to be perfect with that shot. You can put it full back 4 and they'll
Yeah.
probably follow you down, but you'll still be able to cut them down.
Oh,
This one's looking pretty heavy.
yes, line. Yes.
Oder ist es rein tippen?
Oh,
14 Mühe habe ich gehabt.
Again, just way too much weight. As you said, Matt, it does look like one side is definitely really skating.
Immer den
ich weiß.
And that would have
Kannst
almost
du aber so machen.
probably been backline or even through the rings if nothing was in its way. So you're the Swiss here. You could hit the open rock and sit your 2 that way, and that probably gives you maybe the chance if Madden ever misses that you can bump the back one, maybe get a bundle.
Wenn sie da liegen,
I'd be really
Schon
tempted to
heikel
draw
für mich.
another one in there around on that in turn, ideally. If you want to play the out turn that you played a couple shots ago, that's fine as well. But
Tenny.
I think the thing here is that even if you make the nose hit, you know Madden is probably throwing that in turn freeze anyways. So you probably don't want to give them that opportunity to take.
Ja, bitte vor.
You're probably always going to have a shot for 2 anyways, but you don't want to give them the opportunity to just take the bumble away from you.
Ich glaube, sie wird noch mal
Yeah, and I think they're
That's
calling to hit and roll, and we know how hard hits and rolls are. They're not made that often, to be perfectly honest. So you could just instead just play the draw and get another one in there that way. We'll see what happens.
Squat! Oh, schnell easy! Karl! Karl! Bring in, Anne, bring in!
Really nice weight she's throwing here.
Right, nog ie. Ja, Franse, go.
Still too much. Oh, she does.
Oh,
Well, she sits 2 after that.
not sure if that was the call from
No.
from the start. They were, but almost
we just
made
need
it perfect.
to
If that
try
curls up even a hair more, she's sitting
ja.
3. I think it's
Next
still
day,
2.
next
Though.
day.
I think so, yeah.
I mean,
Still got
even
a
if-
pretty nice bonus out of it. Kept the red around.
Actually, this one was 12-2.
Ich habe noch gesagt, dass sie
Ja,
ich habe jetzt in der Hand
So, hey, da hat er Frau gezielt.
12, wie
And
geht
12-2.
I think Jenny might have got a bit spooked by that one in turn draw that came up well light earlier in the game. That just looking at this situation, if I didn't know what happened earlier in the end, that in turn draw looks really nice to me.
Yeah.
Just try and tuck a piece behind.
But with what happened earlier, she might be a little bit hesitant to throw it. This out turn draw just looks a lot tougher,
I'm going
doesn't
out
it?
of...
It does. The
I'm going to-
problem with this one is you gotta make
I'm going
sure
a bit wider, but I think you could...
you don't leave this one wide open where there's actually could be a double for a bundle at the end
Yeah.
of this end. So try to get this at least half around.
Even if you get it half around, it might still leave something for 3.
Yeah.
You got to play it close to that top one to try and get buried, but if you ever touch it and roll off, like you said, now there's a double for 4.
nicht vielleicht, dass man Double Hand oder so.
Yeah,
14
this
Cent.
one's
Letztes Mal
definitely
ist
back
sie
there.
da gewesen. Ja, mach's nicht schlechter als der andere. Go. Wer knows?
Ja.
Soll ich nochmal Glied schnell oder viel schneller?
Selfie ist gut. Ja.
Mein Hals
There's
ist
that second miss in a row I
Yeah.
was talking about. You miss the first one heavy, and you got to make that adjustment on that second one, or you end up sewered. So
Yeah.
an open hit now for Isabel Einspieler for 4 points.
Sie haben das Gefühl, dass sie ja langsam ziehen.
Take a commanding lead early in this game. The defending champions out of Switzerland.
Bist gut. Tendenziell lieber langsamer, weil schneller bringt nichts. Einfach spielen bleiben.
I don't know, the draw is
Final
really
rock here
fast.
for the
Except for
Swiss,
this
looking to
side is
score a
not
big
just
4
made
points.
easy. Ja! Linie! Ja! Hard, Jana, hard! Hard, Eben! Go! Third pivot.
Makes it perfect. Hits on the nose, sticks around. Count them, 4 points
12-6.
for Team Einspieler out of St. Gallen, Switzerland.
When it comes to the game we love, having the right gear makes all the difference.
Gold Line's new curling shoes and brooms are a game changer.
The shoes, unbelievably comfortable.
And the brooms, lightweight and effective, giving you control on every sweep.
When I step onto the ice, I'm not just prepared, I look sharp.
Have you seen these shoes? They are a game changer.
And the brooms, light as a feather.
It's a gold line.
It's a Gold Line.
It's a gold line.
And is the choice of champions.
Slow down.
Like
Like outside for sure up to speed.
You even notice that falls.
Yeah, you just noticed that.
We're back here picking up in the third end after a big score by the Swiss squad, defending champions of this event from last year, and they look to be well in form already here.
Yeah, really nice weight on that last shot too. She just throws a control weight kind of hit on this type of ice. That's what you have to do, and she makes it perfect to take 4 points.
Let's do it. Active, eine
And I was
Dacht.
gonna say that was.
Tina!
I think you're right. That was the most impressive part about it was the weight control.
Ja,
You know,
aber
you have to move that rock like only a foot, right, to score your 4. Now, if she threw a little extra weight, she can hack forward just to make sure, make it a little bit more controllable. But something just easy that you can bring the sweepers in, use the sweepers that you're less likely to roll out on, and with lots of rotation. And in previous years, we would have said that was maybe a more European way to throw it, with lots of rotation, a little bit lighter. But we've also seen a lot of the Canadian squads are going that way too at the top level. Looking at more, maybe in the past we taught three and a half, maybe 4 rotations on really curly ice. But I think a lot more top teams are moving towards that 5 or even up to like 5.5 or 6. I think there's a lot of trade-offs or benefits and not, but I think all in all, it just makes it a much more controllable throw as it comes down the ice. You get more time to read it, to control it with your sweepers, and just gives you a better chance to make it.
Yeah, I would agree. I do like the, I would say probably a 5 rotations is good. Now, on this ice, you probably can get away with not that many, but when you're playing on arena ice, I do think that's the way to go.
Renee Frigo throwing the lead stones here for the Swiss.
Yep.
That rock just slipping in, and I think there's maybe been one rock that I would say has been missed light so far this game, Renee. A lot of them have been heavy draws through the rings. You saw there a guard slipping into the house. I mean, you were pretty much a career lead for the most part in your competitive career, but you've thrown on many different ice surfaces. You've thrown lots of draws. What do you do when you get into a situation like that where, in this case, it's because the ice is so fast, just everybody is having that issue? What can you do sort of as a teammate to help your teammates figure it out? Or what do you think of when you're sitting in the hack to try and really pull that back and make those big adjustments that you're not used to?
Well, one thing that I learned early on, and I believe it was Russ Howard that always says it, is that it is definitely quicker to the wings. So when you're trying to put up a corner guard, which are so important, I swear you could take 10 feet off of that rock because it's so slick in that particular area, going from the inside to the out. Your sweepers can really pull that rock, put it where you need to. But yeah, it's a really tough thing to adjust because sometimes you feel like, okay, I'm throwing nothing on this rock. I feel like I'm hogging it. But I think you have to sort of get that in your head. Once you get it, you've got it. It's just tough to get it sometimes.
It can be a big adjustment, especially depending on where you spend most of your time playing. If you're used to playing on, say, 13 and a half second ice, for example, a lot slower, and you come out here, I can feel like you're stopping up at the top of the house, and you instinctually just try and add a little bit more, and suddenly it sails through the rings. It can be really tricky, and I do remember last year seeing by the end of day 2 or day 3, people were still struggling to really pull that weight back.
Some people don't like the ice as fast as this is. I think they just find it too fast. They can't make the adjustment. I like it. It's nice to have ice like this, that this is really fast but also curls. I think that's the key. Yeah.
I think this is about, if I was playing, this would probably be about my limit. I've played on ice before that I think is almost too fast to an extent, and especially as a sweeper, sometimes when the ice is so fast, a tight guard and a T-line draw can look the same as you're walking beside it down a sheet. But I think this is a nice sort of place to be in. I think it gives a lot of opportunities to sweepers to drag rocks, to control weight and line, while still making sure that most of the control is in the thrower's hands.
So we got a miss here from the Swiss team. They tried to peel and they hit it on the nose. So
Wenn wir wegrollen, wieso
at
nicht
least
selber?
now Madden's team has some stuff to work with here. She's going to try to remove some of these red rocks that are sitting on the top 12, top 8 foot. She could ignore everything, try to get around a corner guard. She could tap back some of these rocks, but it's not a bad call early in the end.
I think it's important to get a couple reds moving here.
Yeah.
Like you said, you don't have to blow it up and throw lots of weight and risk rolling out or anything like that. What she just did is perfect, in my opinion. You've created a little bit of a pocket. You've kept your yellow in front. If you're the Swiss in this situation, you're up 3, you know they want to walk up and try to peel it or pick it if they can, or they're going to walk up and peel the corner. Either way, you'll either have a corner guard to draw around or you'll have a yellow rock in the rings that hopefully you can try and bring into play.
Yeah, see, it's already now, because of that shot that was just made, now the Swiss are like, okay, what are we going to do here?
I think I like peeling the guard.
Yes.
Personally.
Yep.
I think you just walk up there and you say to Team Madden, okay, now what are you going to do?
Right.
Right? Because they can either, eventually they're going to have to play something in the center and probably leave you a double. I think that corner guard is going to get you into a lot of trouble most of the time. Picking that yellow seems might not even be there. You're probably losing one of your reds with it, and then they go around. I think smart calls just walk up, peel the guard, and let the Madden team come to you.
Yes.
Make them play the tougher shots, the taps, and you just, with a 3-point lead, you can sort of just keep ripping guards, keep taking it easy, wait for your chance to have a double.
Yeah, sometimes you get that yellow rock in there, and all of a sudden, that's where the other team is focusing on. Okay, well, they've got a yellow rock in there now. What are we going to do? But yeah, this is the smart call here. You're up, what, 3 points?
Yep.
Yeah, so
If you ever get this a bit thin, too, you could move stuff around in the rings once you know you have a piece of it.
this looks like a nice peel.
Even that, really control weight. I don't know if I necessarily recommend that on peels. I just like kind of throwing it hard and making sure you make it.
Yeah.
But I think that really just goes into the mindset of, is sort of a visual into the mindset of the team to consistently just throw just enough weight to make sure you can control it with the sweepers. And I think there's something there for a lot of teams to learn from, and that's why this young Swiss squad has been so successful. Madden hoping to remove one of these red stones. Probably would have liked to roll to the wing, but I think that's still a pretty good spot to be. Doesn't look like there's any double on the yellow rocks. Alyssa Rudolph throws the third stones for this team out of Switzerland.
Nein. Am Schluss hat es ist 11 8. Am Schluss hat ein Tor gemacht, habe ich gefühlt. Hat extrem seriös. Jetzt habe ich den Finish nicht. Schluss ist einfach wieder nach vorne. Ich habe das Gefühl, lieber so, weil da rausrollen darf man sicher nicht. Ja. Close.
This one's tracking a little bit. Starting to move now. I think she's going to roll out here, which is unfortunate.
And not only that, moved a lot of the red stones around. So now, if it was before, it would have been still a bit tricky to get rid of that yellow stone. Don't even need to get rid of the yellow stone. Still sitting
Dann hat sie
two.
keinen nicht so guten Double.
Aber ein bisschen hinter dem Gel ist gut.
Wie viel brauchst du?
Ist das nicht ein bisschen viel?
Weniger.
Nein, lieber da, wer da, wir kommen da.
This is an aggressive call.
It is an aggressive call. Are we down to skip rocks here? Not yet, eh?
Skips first.
Skips
yes.
first, yeah. So I don't mind it now. I think sometimes, you know, you can get caught into that being so defensive because you're up a few, but this is something that could really solidify
Yeah.
the game, even if you can make a nice one here.
And what factors in, I mean, this is another factor might be that this is the same side of the sheet that they were playing
Yeah.
last end. So they played it a lot. They should have a good idea of what the speed is, how much curl there is. So I agree. If you end up making this shot, it's actually pretty good. But I'd be a little bit worried if you ever leave it open and you leave a double.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden, if you don't make a double back, a 2 might be back in play for Team Madden. Sweepers working this one. Want to get it by that top yellow.
Lên lên phone nè, lên lên phone nè. Square tôi nè, square tôi nè.
So that's sitting fourth shot now, Matt?
It is.
Yeah.
Try that.
There is an in-off double that Team Madden
think I
could
like
play to
this.
sit 2
No,
off of the rock on the right as we look at it.
I think I'm momentan.
Sag, wisst du?
Like, you mean the run instead?
Länge wäre nicht schlecht.
Yeah,
Sie-
like I like the double and just.
Could make the nose double
Yeah,
as
nice.
well
Nice.
and
Nice.
sit
I just
2,
felt you
3.
didn't have
Either way, you're
to go,
probably leaving
wie
a
nach
double
oben, ja.
back, but
Good. I think we have to go this way. Nice. Yeah.
Den Fall noch
Just control. Okay.
Ich fand Sack, ja. Am Anfang ist gar nicht.
No.
Ist die Länge noch auf den Knopf, ne?
Ja, halt nur vorne so. Aber da muss control.
Können als Variante B das nach vorne.
Ja, das hätte ich noch haben wollen, aber.
Aber dann will man vielleicht noch sagen, dass man verliert oder ein bisschen mehr.
Ja, ich sag's noch an ja.
Ich sag's nicht.
using to take on the double on the center line. Jenny Madden with her first rock here in the third end.
Yes! Oh!
In that spot, we've seen the miss has tended to be on an over curl. This one
Nochmal gleich die Länge. Hair down.
Da ist okay.
over curling quite a bit. Actually, probably worst case scenario. It just a piece of the red spun it into the top of the 4 foot. Those rocks are
Sorry.
dead buried and red sitting 3. And
Either.
you put up a good guard here, Mary. I don't know how you score.
Yeah.
I don't know how you don't give up 2, actually, if you make this guard perfect.
Yeah, that one I could tell right out of Madden's hand. She just got that one going a little bit. And it started curling pretty much out of her hand. They didn't call the sweep right away. But yeah, I guess maybe a spot that curls more, maybe fold them a little bit as well. But that's unfortunate because, like you say, Matt, they're going to have a tough score here now.
Isabel Einspieler hoping to
Squad!
throw the hammer down here.
Call! Call!
Just nice and tight right in front of that
Call!
red stone top of the 4 foot.
Yup, call! Call! Go, Jana! Go, 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 go! Jana, go, go, go! Finish, finish, finish! Good! Checklist, Jungs.
Pretty nice.
That's about as good as it could be. And again, I don't see a way that you don't give. I think a draw gives up 2.
Yeah.
You could slash in the yellow
Yeah.
and try to stick it on the rocks in the 4 foot. That's probably the only way you only give up 1.
Give up 1, yeah.
If you miss it, you're giving up 3, but I mean they're sitting 3 already, so you're. I guess you could probably draw the 8 foot and cut them down to 2, but with the situation being the way it is, you're already down 3.
Yeah.
You have to figure out a way to take as much away from them as you can.
Yeah, I think so. Kind of wait. Yeah, thank you.
Looks like they're going to try the slash on this yellow one.
Like there?
She asked what kind of weight, Matt. I think on these ones you gotta ice it to throw it hard.
Well,
Take some of the curl out of it. It
little
might be a bit
bit,
of a
yeah.
guess here too with the ice.
I was thinking something like easy control, maybe even board. I'd worry about with the extra. I know what you mean with knowing if you're not sure where the broom needs to come down, then yeah, you need to sort of broom it tight, throw it a little bit harder. I worry with the extra weight of that yellow making contact but spinning out, and you're giving up two anyways.
True. Yeah.
If you knew the spot, I would lean towards more like a control board. Try to make sure that when you run it into the forefoot, that it stays in the forefoot.
She's a little tight on this one as well. See if they can hold it.
Looks close.
Oh, what a great shot. Really nice shot there.
Outstanding shot under pressure by Jenny Madden there. Sticks the yellow in the forefoot. Still gives up a steal of one, but that's about the best that she could hope for in that scenario. So count one more for Team Einspieler.
When it comes to the game we love, having the right gear makes all the difference.
Gold Line's new curling shoes and brooms are a game changer.
The shoes, unbelievably comfortable.
And the brooms, lightweight and effective, giving you control on every sweep.
When I step onto the ice, I'm not just prepared. I look sharp.
Have you seen these shoes? They are a game changer.
And the brooms, light as a feather.
It's a Gold Line.
It's a Gold Line.
It's a gold line.
And is the choice of champions.
You never know.
It's just so tough on this side. Like a little more weight on this tracks. Go girls, aber female.
We're back. Teams have just concluded their between end meetings. Isabella Einspieler slides down to the other end to hold the broom for her lead.
Oh, we definitely take out this score.
And you know, Mary, this game so far through the first three ends has been all Switzerland.
It has, yeah.
A couple key misses by the Madden squad, but I think more of it just comes down to how solid this Swiss squad has been. They had a couple misses early, of course, as they figured out the ice, but they've really toned in that weight. They've put some rocks in some really good spots, and it just seems like every time they step into the hack, when the shot is finished, the situation is better.
Right, yeah. I like the way the Madden team played that last end, and they definitely had their chance to score a couple, but there was, like you say, you have to execute, and missed shot on Jenny's first one wasn't great, so, but I almost think that her second shot is a bit of a win in a way, because it was game over if she didn't make that one.
Absolutely. So hopefully a bit of a confidence builder moving on to the back half of this game, and I think you're right, they're not far off.
Yeah.
Just one or two shots, just one or two critical misses, I would say, in the last couple rounds. The draw in two that just slipped through the rings, the hit in that last end that ticked them up into the forefoot. You take those two shots away, and I think this game's a lot closer, and I think it is within range. So sometimes you have to take a step back. You can look at the scoreboard and just, feel bad about yourselves and just like not learn from it. But I think sometimes you have to take that step back and really realize you're two shots away from this being a close game still.
So,
but they're going to have to turn it up for these last 5 ends if they want to continue playing.
So they put a corner guard up there, just gets over that hog line, so it's not going to be that useful. I think you'll want to see them put another corner guard up closer to the rings.
Looks like that's the call. Try to get this right beside that World Financial Group logo, nice and tight to the rings.
needs to move. Girl, that's the other side. And that's in the bucket.
It's like weight's going to be pretty good. Doesn't quite get buried, but still useful. Still have two guards to work with. It'll be interested to see what happens here. looks like the Swisses are going to try and make a nice tight center guard right in front of their other two stones. And this is always a really interesting situation for me to see at this level. If they make it, what will Madden's team decide to do? Because sometimes when you're down this much, you worry so much about getting around the corners that you just leave such a great situation in the center for the other team, and you never really get the chance to even score. So this one looks like it's going to slip into the rings, but... And it will, they'll make the corner freeze. So I'd be surprised if I didn't see Madden at least hit something to move it around. But sometimes I'll see a lot of inexperienced teams just draw around the corner. Then Red is in such a great situation. They could just toss up a guard and pretty much have a steal in their pocket.
Yeah. I think you're hoping they won't toss up a guard because they're up so many, but, you know, tossing up a guard's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
So... she is going to play a little hit on this one. Maybe she's not going to get rid of any rocks. She might move them around here a bit, though. Get some rocks behind the tee line and keep her shooter either in front of the res or roll behind the corner. Lots of options.
It's like they'll get that behind the corner, so well done there.
Yeah. Nice shot.
By Ava Akers. And this is where things sort of become a little bit easier for the Swiss squad, in the fact that when in doubt, just walk up and guard.
Yeah.
You're more than happy to even give up a 2 to the other team to get the hammer back. Don't really try and take on it too much risk. Just make sure yellow goes. Just spin out of play.
Think I like this. Alright. Yeah. I like this.
So she's going to call another corner guard to cover the rock she's got sitting in the rings. And I think this is a pretty good call. It's early in the end, so you don't necessarily want to start going after rocks in the house yet, if you can avoid it.
Yeah, I think you kind of just have to delay as long as you can. Just keep guarding.
Get over and off.
This one's over curling. Might get a little tick. No.
Okay.
And of course, just as I say, it's easy. Just keep walking up and peeling guards. There's almost a situation where I think you can see almost all of that rock in the rings.
Yes.
At least 2/3 of it.
Yeah.
Could probably play a board waiter on that. Those high guards really... They are staggered, so they could be of some use to Team Madden, but it would be tricky for them to use it. And it's getting pretty late in the end. I don't mind the peel here. If it was one rock later, I'd probably be looking a little bit more at getting rid of that one in the ring. But excellent shot there. Removes both yellows, rolls out into no man's land.
Verdeckt.
Line's tight. Line's tight. 2, 1. Over and off. Over and off.
Just calling this over and off, meaning it's over curling. So if it's over the hog line, no need to sweep it anymore.
Geh mal so. Bitte mal gleich schnell. Die noch mal raus. Wir können nicht Zone. Wir können Zone. Ja, aber...
Of course, the Madden team is hoping for a missed peel would help their cause a little bit more, but this one
Hey,
is
shoot that,
curling.
Whoa, whoa.
It's going to stick around. Oh, it just, she just touched it with her broom as she was sweeping it over.
She stopped it. I wasn't really watching. Sorry.
We were watching. That would have rolled a little bit more over
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
to the other side of center line.
I'd say like probably 2 feet off center
Yeah,
line, kind of
kinda
the
where
other
they're
side of the
pointing.
4 foot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Like
that looks
there?
close.
I think something
Sorry.
like that, amen? Yeah.
Looks reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
Så vidt vær så gange. Har de skrevet. Galt ikke
You'd
sat
hope
videre,
that
det er
that
sikkert
doesn't
helt
end
ikke
up
sat
coming
videre.
into
Det er
play
nemlig sådan,
either way, but
Ikke sikkert. Just boards!
I think we're getting to that. Yeah, we're getting to the point where I think Madden kind of has to play a hit here.
Yeah.
Delayed long enough.
Mm-hmm.
Don't need to make the double. If you play board weight and just hit and roll behind that corner that just ended up there,
Jeg har det gefühl, at
it would be quite useful.
der wird doch noch da kommen.
I don't think there would be a double back.
Ja. Ich weiß schon, wie det går. Girl. 12 drüben.
Get one, touch the other.
Try to get this one back there so it's still out counting the yellows.
Ja. Bin ich glaube besser,
I
ne?
think red is still sitting two.
Yeah.
So machst du das Ja. Der ist eh besser als der. Einfach so etwas.
I don't mind still hitting this
Poster, oder?
third shot.
Easy.
If you try and guard, it's
Geh
kind of
auf
it's
Jotze,
tough to
weiter
guard
schnell.
everything. There'll be a couple slashes in. If you guard the nose runner, then there's probably still like a half waiter to pick it out.
Yeah.
I think if you can make this hit and roll and just roll to like just bite center line or split center line, you might be able to take
Also er ist
everything.
sicher besser
Yes.
als der
Yeah,
rechte
no, I like the
Gelb,
hit here for sure.
aber ich habe nicht geschaut, ob er besser als der linke ist. Aber ich wäre so oder so der.
It was unfortunate for the Mad team. It would have been nice to get that red one out, or at least back where those yellows come into play here, because it's kind of late in the end now to.
Yeah, on those hit and rolls, you love to throw that little bit less weight, and you can control the roll, control the curl a lot better. But you still need to make sure that you actually get rid of
Right.
the zone you're trying to hit.
This one's over curling a bit.
Getting caught again in that one spot that we've
Yeah.
seen a lot of over curls on. Doesn't look like it's like jumping or doing anything really strange. I think it just curls
Yeah,
that
like
little bit
straight
more than
nose, which
everywhere
is
else on the sheet. And I
Yeah.
think a lot of teams just
Und ich
aren't
habe schon das Gefühl, dass er
anticipating it
schneller
early
ist
enough.
als ich.
Yeah, I think they're not quite catching on that that's what's happening over there.
Das ist ein schlecht Spiel, gell?
It's a
Aber
tough
halt das
situation
richtige
now
Attic
for
Girl,
Madden. I mean, she's facing 3 here now. I don't know if that yellow rock's gonna come into play for them at all at this point. Do you just try to come around everything?
You could for sure.
Aber Jenny ist auch da.
Yeah, I mean that might be the call. The one thing I see with the come around that might be tricky is there is the Swiss could play the in off the rock that they just threw
Yeah.
off of the side 8 foot, so you'd have to be a little bit more precise. There would be some run backs. I think this is the best shot if you know that you're gonna make something.
Right.
If you're able to stick this run back, you could stick it buried, leave a guard up for yourself, and not really give force the Swiss into a tough run back themselves. But again, that's if you know you're going to make it. I do think not making this shot also carries some risk. But when you're down 4 already,
know.
sometimes you got to take on those chances.
She might get the side one here. Like that.
And spins in,
Danke, Alissa.
half buried behind the guard. So now the Swiss have to think about this a little bit. Could chase that yellow. There's always the jam possibility if they try to, though. Could throw another rock in.
Oder vorne. Wirst Guard oder
Could
da?
make a guard. Couple different options. I think all of them are reasonable. It's whatever you're most comfortable with, whichever spot in the
Ich
sheet you know
sicher besser
best.
sein als der. Dann hat sie nicht mal die Chance auf 2. Finde ich gut. So,
I'd almost be
gut, oder? Ja. Aber
If I was her, I think they've thrown that outturn side of the sheet so much, I would be taking a good look at just throwing hacked weight, trying to get to the nose of that yellow. Even if you jam it, as long as you stick around in the 8, but you're probably okay.
Wenn sie den hält, kannst du noch 2 machen. Wenn ihr lieber so, wenn ihr geht, vielleicht auf die Gelbe oder so. Ich will fast ein bisschen mehr. Ja, also ist gut.
So they're opting for the guard, I think, here, Matt. Yeah.
I think out of all the draw shots I saw, I think I like this one the
Ja,
best. It's probably the
ich bin
easier.
eigentlich
It's
auch,
probably
aber
easier than trying to make a
ich
perfect
meine, wenn
corner
man den
freeze
jetzt
on the
schön
yellow,
abladen, dann
but
muss
Yeah.
ich Double bringen, dass sie überhaupt eine...
Be interesting to
Dem
see
her
what
finde ich
happens
okay.
with this one because we
Wenn man
discussed
halt den
about
anderen schön
the
hinten
the
hat,
weight's a
dann hat
little
Chance
different on
auf
this
2.
side of the
So bringt sie
sheet
halt alle
and a little more curl, I think. So
20.
you got to make sure you put this in a
Von
good
der Linie
spot
her
for
müsste
sure.
da
Yeah.
ja vielleicht auf das Center.
yeah, not the perfect guard is not always that easy. So
Final rock here by Isabel Einspieler
Aber jetzt fühl
in
ihr,
the fourth
Gell,
end,
noch,
hoping to convert another steal opportunity here by making a perfect guard. Sweeping for the curl, but as we've seen on this side, you got to be careful.
Wie lang ist er?
Achtung, noch ein Kerl, noch ein Kerl. Kerl,
Wow, wow,
Kerl.
wow.
Gut. Sehr schön.
And perfect.
mhm.
I
Alter, geht wie Merli.
trying to dig out that red looks tough to
God,
me.
with
I
Malibor,
don't
Phoenix,
know
I
if
think.
it's there.
Yeah.
Which Lied?
You probably have to play the in turn with just enough weight to push it out of to the back of the 8 foot, or push it just far enough for 2. And even then, I'm not entirely sure if that's going to be there. Might have to take it on if you think that it is possible. I mean, being down 5-2 without isn't a very ideal situation either.
Yeah, I don't think we can get enough of that. 'Cause I think this side's probably on this side.
Maybe a good time for a timeout situation. Get the coach out here. I don't think there's not a right or wrong shot here. It's just sort of what you feel you can make. But looks like she's going to draw.
The other thing is the draw isn't a gimme either, as we've seen on this side of the
Yes,
sheet,
yeah.
where hitting the 4 foot, you have to take a little bit more ice to make sure you get around everything, and then you might be guessing on the speed.
Hä? Machen irgendwie nur mir. Solange, ich habe das Gefühl, solange sie nicht schreiben, schreiben sie nicht. Okay. Von hinten sieht sie eigentlich fast. Von hinten sieht sie vom Roten fast nichts. Nimmst du nicht? All you! Take a look! Full 4! Just full 4. Line's good. Got line.
Line's looking pretty good here on this last rock. Needs the 4 foot.
Very nice shot.
One yellow.
Excellent draw there by Jenny Madden. Keep the game going, hits the side of the button, gets her 1. When we come back, it'll be 5-2 for Team.
Peace of mind, the life you want, and financial independence. At World Financial Group, we believe your path to any of these goals is paved by financial knowledge. That's why our agents spend every day empowering individuals and families of all backgrounds with the knowledge to create the life they want. No matter your financial goals, WFG can help you own your future. Visit worldfinancialgroup.com.
And we're back, picking up play in the second half of Draw 3 action here at the World Financial Group Canadian Junior Cup.
Mine's really
A
good.
marquee matchup, Team Madden out of Ottawa, Ontario against Team Einspieler St. Gallen
To
out
center.
of St. Gallen, Switzerland.
Looks good. Oh.
Well, Jenny Madden has made some game-saving shots in the last 2-3 ends. It hasn't quite worked out for her, but she's at least making shots that are keeping them in the game.
Yeah, and I was going to say, like, a bit of a report card for the first half for both teams. I think it's the reason the score the way it is that the Swiss team has been very precise, hasn't had too many really big, obvious misses. They're putting rocks in good spots. And the Madden team just maybe quite hasn't been their best. So I think just the combination of that together has resulted in the scoreboard that we see. But as you said, I think there's a lot to take forward as well. Like, I think they got into trouble because of a couple key misses in 2 and 3, not just by Jenny, but by the team in general. But they really have picked it up in some ways. A game-saving slash to give up the steal of 1 and 3, that excellent draw in 4.
Yeah.
Those are the things that even if you don't end up coming back to win this game, you have to take that confidence going forward in the rest of your matches.
And especially if you're the skip, those are high pressure shots. So knowing that you can make those, I think is a real advantage. A disadvantage that this Madden team has, though, is that they only have 3 players, and that's tough. I think especially for the sweeper, as it's only one sweeper that has to not only sweep but judge. And I find that when you don't have anybody else with you to help judge those rocks, it's tough.
Absolutely, yeah, and I totally agree. I think having 3 in some ways can be beneficial. You throw 3 rocks instead of 2, so you get more chances to learn how you need to throw some rocks. You actually sweep fewer rocks. You're sweeping 5 rocks instead of 6 normally. But I agree. I think it really comes down to weight judgment. Sometimes just having that ability to say something, say a weight, and having that partner there either to verify it or say something different is so useful. And that's really the biggest drawback to it.
Yeah.
Swiss team looking to make this freeze, but it looks like it's going to slip right past it. A little heavy once again. And that's kind of the shot we just haven't seen in the last couple ends from the Swiss teams. Those little key misses slipping not through, but to the back 12 on that, giving Team Madden the chance to throw another one in. I would be surprised if I didn't see Isabel just walk up to rip this guard after this shot. Try to open it up, give herself some chances. But if you put this rock in a good spot here, this is a good opportunity to get a setup for this.
Ja, aber sie ist jetzt nicht da angekommen. Ja. Keep going.
Get this past that guard. Looks like it's just a little light, but it does guard the rock on the 4-foot, but this looks like, is it a pretty routine double peel here? I don't know. I can't quite see the angles.
Looks a little tough. Looks a little thin on the top one. You have to hit it quite thin. You could play it the other way, sort of in between off of both yellows. But then my question is, where is that yellow that was just thrown going?
It's going to drive it into the house, I think.
And it could. It's tough to tell. It could go into the red. Could go towards your own. Your own red or the yellow. So, but I think as long as you get it moving, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be happy with the result. It's got a little tight on this one. Gets one of them.
So Madden has, a few rocks to work with here. That still has one guard out there. Has a really good rock sitting on the top 4-foot. So I think she's calling here to put up a tight guard. I'm not sure she called the come around into the house.
I think the call was a tight guard.
Yeah.
I don't mind coming in.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd want to be right down to your own yellow. I think maybe, just far enough to sit 2. If you could get it buried, I think is a great spot to be.
Yeah, line. Yep.
Yeah, the important thing here is to try to not set up a double peel because that's kind of going to take the end away from you. So right now you've got a bit of an advantage here.
I think so. Want as much separation as you can. Unfortunately, with where that other yellow one, I think there's almost always going to be some kind of double peel. But yeah, you just want to make it as tough as possible. And that one, maybe not quite as far as they wanted, but still not a gimme. Jenna Holland here trying to make the double peel. She's going to be a little bit tight, miss everything, and leave a center guard.
Yes, that is a huge miss.
And those are the ones that you kind of shake your head on a little bit. I think sometimes on those shots you have in your head to try so hard to make the double peel. You know, make sure you're on that little bit of a tight side to make sure you make contact with that second rock, and sometimes you just pinch it a little bit, or pinch it a little bit, you end up with something like that, and now you've just sunk your own team. So always in those situations, making sure you just make the one peel, go away, lose your shooter. If you want to play it aggressive, sure, but you have to throw it in a way that you always get the one.
And sometimes it's good for the skip to actually just indicate that. Like, just get the single peel is fine here. Is this one going to get by?
Don't think so.
Does not.
We'll touch it, but spins off. Doesn't spin too far, so it does still block a path to that rock in the forefoot. But again, that was a key shot there. You get that one around the guards, get it into the 8-foot. Now steal of 2 might be on your brain for a little bit. Alyssa Rudolph trying to clear up the mess here in front of the house.
She could clip the one in the house if she hits this. Really nice. Boy, does she ever fire that one down there, Matt.
Excellent shot. Even rolls to a corner guard to guard that other red. It's a little nice bonus there. And now the pressure's back on Team Madden. Now you're kind of starting over from square one. You gotta make some good guards here. You miss one, and suddenly the Swiss can play a hack waiter, set 3, and you're gonna start sweating.
Yeah, it's much easier when there's one guard already up and you're second guarding a rock, but now it has to be a little more precise.
You have to be precise with the weight too. This one looks like it might be a little bit higher.
Trying to curl it.
Doesn't end up in a bad spot if it was 2-3 feet deeper.
Yeah.
With where that yellow is, it looks like there's a hole on the outturn to play between those 2 yellow stones. Remove the yellow and sit 3.
I mean, we just threw like...
Alyssa Rudolph, after a great upweight shot on her first to clear up the front, now has to bring it down, play with a bit of touch. See if she can get through this hole. Sweepers are on it.
Oof. Just hits the guard.
Just clips that other yellow, or looked like she might have spun into the rings there. Just getting caught a bit on the overcurl. That spot again, just that touch more curl than people are expecting.
And the problem is she didn't tick it out of play, or at least over to the side more, so it's really getting messy out front for the Swiss team, and now Madden's got a chance here to put yet another guard up.
And like you were saying, it's always easier when you're throwing up that second guard on a rock, and obviously neither of those yellow ones are guarding that yellow rock, but you kind of have like a half guard on one side, a half guard on the other side, so all you need to do is just hit the hole.
Yeah.
Or block the hole, excuse me, and then you might be able to get out of this with a steal again. First rock here for Jenny Madden. Looking to place a guard up on the center line. keep the steal alive. Sweeper saying this one might be a little heavy out of her hand.
Can you rub?
Those are tough. I think she's. Oof. Yeah, just a little heavy. Rubs that guard, and it's not bad, Matt, but it's.
No.
Aber wir halt grad fast probieren, ne? Sorry.
Difficult to tell.
Ja,
Red's
also ich
definitely
weiss nicht, wie
second
du mit
shot.
Backline schön hinkommst.
I think yellow's third at the top 12
Für
foot.
den siehst du jetzt mehr.
Ja, aber dann muss ich schon mit 11 kommen, ne?
Ja, sorry.
Weil ich habe das Gefühl, sie kommst da nicht schön gerade durch.
Nein, nein.
Weil ich muss an dem dran vorbei und an dem. Dann würde ich glaube so 12.
Difficult to figure out what you want to do here. I think there is space. You could play, maybe play like a hack board waiter on the shot stone. Stick around and sit 2. That's a little tough. Could play a hit and roll off the top stone that Jenny just threw and hit and roll, sit 2, 3, 4. But then you're in the same situation you were in before. Jenny probably just walks up, throws up a guard, and then you're never getting at that rock top 4. I think even if you didn't think you could make it with board, you might be able to throw it hard and just sort of pick out that rock in the 4 foot. Sit shot, Jenny probably has to play a tap or some kind of draw, but likely you're going to have a double to score. Isabel Einspieler with her first rock here in the 5th end. Trying to put this game on ice. Ooh. Just gets it off that corner guard, pushes it.
Still one.
Ooh.
Sieht man überhaupt schon?
Doesn't actually push it far enough, so it's still 1 yellow. That's a big miss there by the Swiss. Even if you do that and roll out, as long as you push it far enough to sit your 1, it would kind of be job done. But
Well, she did what she wanted to do, so I think, Matt, maybe you were right, and you actually should throw a little more weight at that. Make sure that that yellow one doesn't stick around.
Maybe here more.
So this is going to give Jenny a nice opportunity here to come around all those yellows at the front, try to put one on the top 4 foot.
I agree. I think this is... I was looking a little bit at the outturn tap, thought that might be able to get you to be able to get in a little bit more behind the guard, but I think there is enough curl here. As long as her weight's okay, she should, and plays it close to that rock top 12, should be able to bury this in the top of the 4 foot or top button. This one really starting to curl, going sideways.
Well, that's too bad. It's almost like it picked.
I think it might have.
Yeah.
The sweeper definitely didn't seem worried about the weight, and it ended up only being top 12. And we haven't really seen that kind of big swing on that side of the sheet. So, little bit unfortunate. Leaves an open hit here for 2 points for the Swiss, and possibly the game. We'll see if they want to continue playing, but definitely one of those scenarios where you chat about it.
Well, you know, that's a huge break for the Swiss team, because they were in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, if Jenny makes a really good shot there's probably a steal of 1 on the board.
Yes, yeah. Now they have a hit for 2, so.
Whoa! Whoa! Whoa!
Defending champions of this event, champions of the Swiss Cup, now looking to put a win on the board here in their first game this year. Makes the hit. Touches that back red stone, but looks like it actually helped it spin back up for her 2 points. They'll put 2 on the board. The Swiss will take a 7-2 lead after 5 ends of play.
Habe ich dann noch das Gefühl, der Girl, mein Einhändel einfach viel mehr.
Peace of mind, the life you want, and financial independence. At World Financial Group, we believe your path to any of these goals is paved by financial knowledge. That's why our agents spend every day empowering individuals and families of all backgrounds with the knowledge to create the life they want. No matter your financial goals, WFG can help you own your future. Visit worldfinancialgroup.com to learn more.
Wie viel sind es? 16 finde ich gut. Ich weiß nicht. Ja, Force finde ich gut. Dann haben wir wieder den letzten im 7. Wir können nochmal drauf biegen.
Yeah. I'll try to go a little faster. Like we have enough time, but I just want to make sure we're not. Yeah. So up to you.
Back as we pick up here at the start of the 6th end. Renee Frigo throwing the red stones for the team out of St. Gallen, Switzerland. This Einspieler team, a very skilled young team. Of course, won this event last year. So the champions of this event, we were discussing before, do represent Canada at the Swiss Cup, which is a sister event to this event, essentially the same idea. Our champions go there, but their champions actually come here to play in this event. So this Einspieler team, also 2-time champions of the Swiss Cup event in St. Gallen. So very strong team, have earned their way back here once again this year. And have a commanding lead here in the first game. And again, like we were kind of talking about before, I think this Madden team has a couple shots that they can take forward. I think they can take that last end forward too as a bit of a confidence builder.
I do, yeah.
You gotta, I'm sure it sucks in the moment, but eventually you gotta look back on it and say, well, you can't control the picks, you can't control when rocks grab or do whatever that last one did. But you got yourself into a position of an end which really should have been a steal.
Yeah.
So I think you just got to take that confidence and understand that you're playing, well enough to set up steals, to have chances to do it. And 9 times out of 10, that rock isn't going to pick, and you're probably going to get that chance. So.
Yeah, it's all about putting pressure on the other team, and you think, well, you're playing such an experienced team here. You're not going to get too many mistakes out of them, but you did get a couple of mistakes out of them, and it happens. So you just got to keep going.
Yeah, and you might get fewer mistakes out of a team like that, but you are going to get some mistakes.
Yep.
And the key is just to keep it close and wait till you get those mistakes, and then you have to capitalize on them because you're probably not going to get too many more.
Right.
It's a curl.
So first corner guard was hogged, unfortunately. This one, she's put a more weight on it. They're hoping it stops here. No, this one's going to be in the house, so Swiss team are able to hit. Shows how crucial those lead rocks are, because now that the Swiss are able to hit this rock, it's going to be hard for the Madden team to get anything going here.
Okay, ist gut. 10-0. Ist gut.
Yeah, and long time saying I've heard is that a lead sometimes can't win you the game, but they could certainly lose you the game. And not to say that that shot lost them the game, but when you slip that first guard in or the first couple guards in, you really take away almost a whole end.
Right.
Because you really don't get any other chances to set anything up along the way.
It's a curl.
Now, that's why we have 5 rock now, not 4
Right.
rock anymore. So you get that second chance to toss up a corner guard. But now you're playing with 1 guard all end instead of 2.
Now you're going to see a series of peels from the Swiss team if Madden decides to keep putting up a corner guard. This one might... Oh, there's another miss here. Rolls to a center, but it's still a guard, so that's what the Ottawa team wants.
Got something half good out of it.
Yeah.
Kind of covering the rocks in the center, but as you said, gives opportunities to Team Madden. I'd love to see them come down to this rock top button. If they could tap it back to the beside the other red rock, sort of start setting up a pocket, give yourself some space to work with. They've called a timeout, so we're going to tune in and listen to what they and their coach has to say and what their thinking is.
It's okay, that's just how it's going. Yeah. Assuming we're just gonna dump it back.
Sorry, it's 100 degrees in there. I want it to cool off. So I don't mind the freeze, but I kind of like the little just back to work back.
Yeah.
Try and get it behind the tee line, set up a pocket, okay?
Yep.
So I think that's a better shot. I mean, again, for the you're throwing it, so you're just trying to throw tee line, right? And let Ava, give it the extra 3 or 4 feet away. Okay? Yeah, ideally if you could tap it back more, set in front of it. Probably peel the guard, and then you can maybe freeze it up.
Okay.
Get you to that one, okay?
I think the discussion ended up being sort of what I was saying before, Mary. Try to come down with just back 4, back 8 weight, whatever weight you need to just tap that red top button beside the one back 4. Come up with a pocket, maybe some catchers, give yourself some space. Still need a couple misses out of the other team, obviously, but that's how you generate those misses or make it a better chance for them to miss.
Gotta get this one by.
This is really curling.
Yeah, she's just a little light here. A lot light.
Ends up as another guard, but situation, I don't think Isabel's gonna walk up and peel.
Oder willst du Gott? Ja, frag ich immer überhaupt nicht in der Länge. Willst du hier vorne? Ja. Bin schon da.
Yeah, you've given 2 guards now on the opposition's rocks, and why should they peel when you have to make run backs and make so many difficult shots to get out of it anyways? So switching it up and Alyssa Rudolph being asked to toss up a guard on this situation. With the steal of 2 looming, it'll be up to Team Madden to try and dig themselves out. You'd hate to start ripping guards down with the scoreboard the way it is, but I don't really see too many other options unless you're hoping to draw side button for a 2 or something like that.
Oh no.
Yeah, at this point, she really has no option. This is not really how they want to play this game, but she's got to open it up here to give herself a chance. Be nice to get rid of the guard and the one on the top 4 foot.
Leanna Flanagan hoping to move some reds around. Looks a little wide, might only just get the 1 or sails right by.
Willst du vorne oder hinten? It wasn't the hack. Wer wäre ich da? Ja. Wenn jetzt ja, oder so machen.
We used to call this playing sheriff when I was younger. Just toss one in the forefoot and lock it down. Just guard, 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 guard.
Yeah.
Squad, clear Linie! Jetzt zieht er rechts! Oh! Das 18. Der zieht brutal rein. Eigentlich hätten wir lieber außen dran gehabt, wenn er innen. Schön gemischt, Fahrer. Habe ich noch vergessen. What do you like? We need to get rid of something. Ja, der gehört einfach. Then there's
Just try and run the top one. Run the high guard in, move stuff around, give yourself some space. This where skips first, you're probably just trying to put a draw on the side of the button and maybe hoping you can get a 2 that way, but...
Weißt du das? Reiche. Ah, mein Gott.
Well, that helps a bit.
Move some stuff around,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Jag kan så, då vet jag då.
Ja, da geht es halt mehr.
Ja, stå!
Vom Platz her mal
Isabel can put a draw here in a good spot.
Ja,
though.
så.
It'll all but put a steal on the board, I think.
Yeah, this is,
Ja, Fahrer, nicht so viel.
you know, this is what you would maybe think of not a real pressure shot, but it actually is an extremely important shot.
Yeah,
This could lock the game right
it's
here if you make a
crucial.
good one.
If you make this shot, game's over probably 9 times out of 10.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Vorne oder sie Overteam bringt nichts. Von dem her, wenn er bis oder 8 ist, ist auch okay. Also ich finde, er hat zu viel Eis. Ich glaube, ich habe vorher nicht so viel Eis gegeben. Das ist ein Baden. Nein, jetzt ist wieder Inhändler. Entweder das ist mein Händler oder das ist ein Stein. Wie viel? 0.
Isabel Einspieler with her first rock here.
Gut! Also ist eher aktiv.
Chance to put a rock. Top button.
Easy! Go! Yup, go! Ja, ja, ja! Mal schauen! Bringen! Das ist super hart, solange er läuft! Komm, Jana, go, 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 go!
Not quite getting it as far as they would have liked. Leaves room here. Now Jenny Madden with the chance to bury one in the forefoot. Get a 2
Darf
set
sicher
up.
noch weiter sehen, aber jetzt ist die Seite fertig.
Yeah, 2 is very much in play here. She's got to make 2 nice draws and hope for a miss by her opposition.
Okay, set extra vor.
Listen, Trump, yes.
To be honest, even if she makes this
more.
draw really good, the
Jetzt noch
Swiss
ein
could
bisschen
just
sogar.
toss up a guard and
Vor allem für da, dass eigentlich noch so
Ja.
viel
to get in there
hinter
for
der
a
Guard
second
ist und
point.
da jetzt ganz dahinter eigentlich hinter derselbe. Ja. Doch, ja, jetzt so schön. Ja, das ist ja It's good. Airline, yep.
lang
Seem
han
to
i
be sweeping up the
Zeit.
line. Looks like it has extra weight.
Ja, vi
Pulls
werden
up to the
det.
back one. It should be okay. Does, but slips a little
Vorne
bit
wird etwas so
deep behind the
15.
tee line.
15 med 2 øster.
Now second chance for Isabel to lock one onto the button.
15, det er et 4-8K. I didn't realize I was Yeah, me neither. 14. No, because it was surgical for us. Yeah, I didn't know. Ja, so dreieinander legen oder halt, also am geilsten wäre noch, wenn er Pizza vorne da liegt. Aber dreieinander ist auch okay.
So this is the kind of shot where you think,
Um,
what's plan B here as well, right, Matt?
Ja, also wenn er vorne drauf vorbei ist, sicher immer
Yeah, and
gern.
I think it's always light.
Yes.
Even if you don't get there for shot, you put a rock top 8, and I guess there's a wide in turn draw, but that for 2, but that'd be a bit of a guess. So make sure you give this to your sweepers. I would say is what I would be thinking in the half.
Right.
Try to just throw that top 8 and let them work it the rest of the way. Get it to where it needs to be.
Oh, lekker. Nog een. Yep, dan bij die.
Looks like the line's getting there, starting to curl.
6-2, van me. Go.
And doesn't quite have the weight again, but as you were saying, there's no real
Okay.
there. You could draw either way.
Yeah.
But you got to go out so far. It's a bit of a
think
guess.
that's
No
shot.
real easy shot for 2.
Or just do the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, this is, about playing the scoreboard as well, because you don't mind giving
We were here.
the Ottawa team 1 point here. They're probably going to shake anyway. They might shake
So I think we need
it
to
2 as well, but you kind of have to think about it
15,
that
ja,
way.
recht. Also, mit dem sind wir am Anfang hinein.
Yeah.
Also,
Down
Oberteam
3
sind,
without.
aber der ist auch Ober-
I could be convinced to keep going. Down 4
Yeah.
without.
Yeah.
der hat
Just
ja
2 ends left.
That's so
That's
zwei. Same thing. Wer schneller war als
probably
der
not
Fahrer,
gonna
habe ich das
happen.
Gefühl gehabt. Bin recht schnell.
So she's got to get
I
a
think
good
so.
piece of the
Going
forefoot
out,
here
bit
for her
wider.
second point.
Hätte fast noch dürfen weiter aussen liegen.
Very precise shot.
A little less. Ich meine, wenn sie eine macht, ist okay. Hätten wir ja eigentlich den Willen.
So
Zwei,
final
wenn man
shot
die
here in
eine-
the 6th, coming from Jenny Madden, needs a good piece of the forefoot going out wide to score a second point. Her first deuce of the game it would be.
Draussen kommt da echt ab. Recht weit draussen, da kommt
Weight's
sie
looking
ab.
pretty close.
It is. Good attempt.
Fortunately, just dug in again.
Yeah.
Similarly, not quite as aggressively, but similarly to last end where
What?
they kind of thought it was okay and then just dug in.
Yeah.
I'd be
Sie da
interested
rein,
to.
oder?
I might start keeping an eye on that 8 yellow rock
Yeah.
to see if that's a consistent problem. But she gets.
Peace of mind, the life you want, and financial independence. At World Financial Group, we believe your path to any of these goals is paved by financial knowledge. That's why our agents spend every day empowering individuals and families of all backgrounds with the knowledge to create the life they want. No matter your financial goals, WFG can help you own your future. Visit worldfinancialgroup.com to learn more.
Was? Ja.
And we pick up once again here. Starting the 7th end of play. It score is 7-3 for Team St. Gallen
Good.
out of Switzerland. They do have the hammer in this end. And I
Mine's
think
good,
it's going to be
mine's
all offense here for Team Madden. Really have to generate 2 steals of 2 and then steal the extra. It's your most likely way to win this game.
Yeah, they're going to have to pull out all the stops here. And the Switzerland team are not going to get fooled to coming around that guard. They're just going to put one over on the wing. They did this in the first end, I believe it was, first or second end, and the Ottawa team chose to hit it at that point, but that was a very close game at that point. Now they, I would assume, ignore it. It's even in the house. It looks like it might be a guard.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to throw up the high guard. A lot of, I think, when you get to the top men's and women's level, you'll see teams go around the center.
Yeah.
And I think that's just because you don't want to give the other team the free chance around. You throw two to the wing, you know the other team's ignoring them. They're not going to do anything. They're just going to throw that third rock right to the top button around the center. This level, I think you can get away with maybe playing a bit more to the wings, just waiting, making some peels. I'd be interested to see where the second one goes, if they're going to try and play the same way with that rock kind of more like a tight guard, or if they'll try to sink one around the center. With those two yellows now where they've ended up, that's such an easy double peel. I actually don't hate throwing another one to the wings either. Important that you throw them to the same side, though. You don't want to split the rings here and basically just have catchers on both sides for when you start peeling. So Renee Frigo being asked to improve on that last throw. Get this one around the red guard. Line's looking good. They seem to like it.
Das ist 2, bei dem muss man dann fast nicht so viel schneller spielen. Ist gut.
Ended up a touch heavy, but nothing wrong with that. Still buried over on the side.
Wie viel? Line! Yeah, line! Gotta go line! Gotta go line! Keep going! Keep going! Keep going! Really hard, really hard, really
Ava
hard!
Akers with her last rock just slips it past that tight guard into the top 12. Not quite far enough to be shot, but still a pretty good result. It'll be interesting. It all depends on this next shot, I think. Those two yellow guards being so close, the double peels here, all depends on if it's going to go back and get that one that they just threw as well.
Oh! Nein. Shoot das.
Get one, get two, just pushes it past that rock top 12. But now you're running out of opportunities here for Team Madden after that double peel. You have to keep guarding here. I'd imagine at some point you could slip one into the forefoot around that rock top 12, but would be a pretty makeable double. At some point you almost have to just start freezing around that corner guard over on the side. And then you're basically hoping on a miss on a draw to the 8-foot, for example, and Isabel's last.
Okay, a little off. She's a sit. Toss.
Yeah, they'll throw this center guard for a few more shots, hoping for a miss. It's unlikely, but we've seen a few misses out of the peels for the Swiss team, so I think just now important, obviously, just to go for the single peel here. You're not worried about the one in the house at this point. Nice shot.
Especially after making that double peel, you know you're always going to have a shot to score.
Right.
There's really nothing that Team Madden can do about that. At worst, you might have a double to score one. But even then, like we said, best case scenario for Madden is to steal two both ends. So even a steal of one, you're fine. You just can't give up more than that. So just keep walking up, keep peeling, and just sit back and wait.
Right.
Get it over. Hard over. sweep.
Just gets that one over the hog line.
Gib ja schon, da willst du stehen machen. Da ist steht noch so viel drüber.
It does make the Swiss think for a minute because it's such a long guard.
It's so high, like the guard almost doesn't exist.
Right.
Like you could get anything around that, but I think this is still just a smart call. Just keep walking up and peeling. There's no sense in risking giving Team Madden anything.
Easy, easy. Sieben.
Something tells me I think Leanna's gonna owe Ava a thank you after this game. It made her sweep her heart out those last couple shots.
Yeah, tight. Yeah, line. Good. Okay, well. Auf! Okay.
Alyssa Rudolph's last here,
Yeah.
trying to make one more peel on the center guard, and then I think we'll probably see Team Madden try
Why are
and
they stuck?
go into the rings or freeze over on the corner, switch things up a little bit.
Okay.
I think the basic plan here is you make a freeze around that corner guard. Swiss are probably just going to rip the one top 12. You hope you can bury another one around the corner guard, and then hope Isabel misses the 8.
Right. Yeah.
Richtig zu Ruf machen, weil wir sind eh Schuss freeze an der. Deswegen müssen wir den eigentlich nicht mal angreifen. Nicht mir.
I think the junior curling has come a long way, Matt, in the last, I don't know how many years, but just watching the strategy with both of the teams today, I think is really good.
It's very solid.
Yeah.
I think that's been sort of a kudos to the coaching contingent. We have, not just here in Ontario where most of the teams are, but all over the world. The amount of attention that these young teams are getting by national federations is really attributing to that.
Yes.
14-6.
Looks like this one might be a little bit heavy.
Wir hinten nicht.
Needs to sit down.
War fast so, hä?
Will stick around for shot.
Ja, meinen Job bringt nichts.
Unfortunately, because it's not frozen, it is edge on edge with the guard. The Swiss could elect to hit it.
Ich will einfach
if he
nicht zu
chose.
weit. Einfach, weißt du, nur da hin. Wenn wir
That's
da
probably
sind,
the
ist
smart
der
call.
Fuß kriegen
Just
nicht weg. Ja, ich denke, das ist einfach
hit it on the
Wie schnell?
nose. You'd love
Wie
to get a
schnell?
little bit of a roll maybe to the center line, but you hit it on the
Ähm,
nose.
Ja, nein, ist gut.
It's pretty
Ich hab's
hard
gesehen,
to
weil ich weiß,
imagine
wenn wir jetzt weit
you
rein
throwing
geht,
against
dann
two on your
rote.
last. Or even if you are, they'll be wide open.
Right.
Zehn. Fliegen reinrollen, aber sicher nicht bis an 10 an, weil wenn ich nachher dort bin, sie nach der Freeze ist nicht gut. Ja, weil wenn ich ihn ein bisschen zu weit rein habe, dann nimmt er den Rot und ich will eigentlich schon, dass er ganz rausgeht.
Ja, Linie! Ja!
Yelled right out of her hand. A little tight on this hit.
Ball! Go, Renee, go, go,
Definitely
go,
don't
go,
want to touch this guard.
go. Nogi.
Oof. A great sweep there by Renee Friedel. Gets it by the guard. 6-2 and pretty good
think we have
spot
to
with
do
the
the same.
angle the way it is. Only way to sit 2 for Team Madden would
I mean-
be to leave their rock wide open. Could roll behind the center one, but you know the
I don't
Swiss are
sure
just going to
should I
take on the double. Even if they miss it,
Should
they're
I-
only giving up a steal of one.
Whatever you like. I think we have to try to sit too. Control? Control.
Egal, solange er weg ist. Aber ich möchte jetzt erzählen, dass ich einen Tag habe. Ja gut, also das bringt beides nicht, wenn du nicht beides perfekt hast. Ich meine, wenn sie jetzt schießt, dann
Control?
ja, eigentlich nicht viel.
Jetzt muss man
Sie mal schon, aber wenn sie einen sind 4 Minuten. Sie machen jetzt immer noch 4 Mann. Aber ja, eigentlich ist es schon der Draw. Er hat schon perfekt gemacht.
The final rock here by Jenny Madden.
Linie ist sicher gut.
Need to remove these 2 red stones. Sweeper on it
Er
right
rollt sicher
away.
nach rechts. Nü, also 10. Yep.
Overswept it a little
They
bit.
did, yeah.
We've seen that spot curling more than people think going the other way.
So ist gut, oder?
Maybe just a misread on the ice, doesn't get the curl up. Leaves red sitting 1, and it'll be a free draw for 2. Could probably throw it away
Yeah,
if you wanted to, rather than risk a pick
Lass
and
ihn einfach.
pushing that yellow up. But either way,
Ja. Ich hab, also es ist noch immer noch ein bisschen Rüfer, ne?
it'll be Isabel Einspieler
Also so
here with her
15-5
last and the
hab
chance
ich
to
nicht
score
gesagt.
2 points.
Ja. Ganze Nacht. Er ist noch ein bisschen weiter außen, gell? Nicht so aktiv, aber nicht mit genug schnell. Easy. Wow!
Renee Frigo on the inside. Jenna Holland on the out. Needing any piece of the 8-foot here. Seem to be backing off now. Out in that wide track, I think a bit of a guess. Gave it a little bit extra, but it is still 1 point for the team out of St. Gallen.
Yes. Yeah, good game.
And there it is. The handshakes come out by Jenna Madden. It is a win for the defending champions. Team Einspieler out of St. Gallen, Switzerland. They move to 1-0. Jenna Madden goes to 0-1. Mary, I'd like to thank you for joining me for today's draw. Hopefully you'll see you again later in the weekend.
Yeah, I think I'll be back tomorrow.
Perfect. We'll
Yeah.
see you then. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We hope you had a great time. We'll be back on again for draw